Faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. And I'm gonna just flat out say it. A lot of people are, I gotta see it to believe it as people. And the reason why I have to cuss is because I have to emphasize how much people don't have faith. Even though they say they believe in God, they don't really have faith in God's power. I think a lot of people don't realize you have to believe something before you receive it or see it. It's not the other way around. And a lot of times we don't have faith in God because we don't have faith in ourselves. But if we learn to just have faith in God and just lean on God, that will make us have faith in ourselves because our confidence would come from God. Stop putting your human limitations on God. God is not a human. God does not have a little body that he's confined to. And God isn't even a he because God is not a person. God is not a he or she. But our minds can't even fathom that because God is way bigger than we can even imagine. God is everywhere at all times. There are no limits to God, but because of our limited perception of God, we subconsciously think there's not enough blessings to go around. Another thing we lack is patience. But if we focus on what we should be doing while we're waiting, instead of constantly wondering, when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? That actually might make our blessing come sooner and it might actually be bigger than what you expected. So there's countless amount of stories of prophets in the Bible who had their faith tested, but I want to share my own personal stories about how my faith was tested and rewarded. And I'm going to share three stories with you guys. Even though I have tons of stories, there's three specific stories that I want to share. The first story is when I was 18, I was a senior in high school, and I was desperate to get a car. Specifically, I wanted a Honda Civic. This was back in 2011. So I wanted like a 1999, 2000 Honda Civic, but I wanted to only pay $1,000 for it. So many people told me, girl, you are not going to find any good running car for $1,000, but especially not a Honda Civic. And I told my mom's friend who was taking me to look at cars, I wanted a Honda Civic. I wanted like a 1999 or a 2000 Honda Civic. But I also told her, a lot of people told me, Kyla, that's not realistic. You're not going to get a Honda Civic for $1,000, especially if you want it to run and be like a reliable car. That's not realistic. Like you should probably just put $1,000 down as a down payment and then make payments on it. And she told me, no, don't settle. If that's what you want and you only want to spend $1,000 on it, you can have that. And she talked to me about manifestation, law of attraction. At the time, I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. I thought it was just a bunch of hocus pocus. But it was crazy because right after we had that conversation, all I kept seeing was the exact car that I wanted. Not 2011, not 2010 Honda Civics, but 1998 to 2000 Honda Civics. Literally everywhere we would turn. That's all I kept seeing. I was just like, this is weird. Maybe it's just a coincidence. But at the same time, I don't feel like it's a coincidence because I ain't never seen this many 1998 to 2000 Honda Civics on the road in my life. But I just chalked it up as a coincidence because I'm like, Kyla, maybe you tripping. Maybe it's really nothing to it. But little did I know it was. I test drove a lot of different cars. Nothing really stood out to me. Nothing really felt right. So I was like, you know what? I'm just try again another day. The next day, same thing happened. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to settle for a good running car. If I have to make car payments, it is what it is. So it was this Ford Taurus. I can't remember what year it was, but the total price that they wanted, it was way more than the car was worth. But because I was desperate, I was about to settle for, this Ford Taurus that I really didn't want. I really wanted a Honda Civic. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to just put this $1,000 down as a down payment, and I'm going to just make payments. Like, I'm going to just have a car payment. So I took out all the money that was in my savings, which I want to say was like $1,200. And I told myself, you know what? I'm going to put $1,000 down as a down payment. Then I'm going to just make payments. I'm going to just go ahead and get this Ford Taurus. God said, no, you're not. I'm not about to let you make that mistake because guess what? I went to lunch. I went to lunch at school, went to go pay for my lunch, and I'm like, this doesn't look like $1,200 in my wallet. I kept recounting the money, and I'm like, this is only $200. Where the hell is my $1,000? Where is that other $1,000 I had in this wallet? So at this point, I'm panicking. I'm really like trying to trace back my steps and figure out, like, did I put it somewhere else? Did I separate it? What happened? Long story short, I realized the money was stolen. You didn't leave it nowhere. You didn't put it in a different place. Somebody stole that $1,000, and I thought it was weird because I'm like, why did they steal $1,000, but they didn't take the full 1,200? I called my mom, hysterical. I'm like, how could God let this happen? How could God do this to me? She automatically checked me. She's like, no. Don't blame God. This happened because you didn't have faith and you didn't have patience. And immediately when she said that, I was like, you know what? She's right. Because really, I didn't even want the damn Ford Taurus. I wanted a Honda Civic. So that's when I told myself, you know what? I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait on God. I'm going to just start saving up my money again. And I'm going to just see what, God has in store for me. When the money was stolen from me, I was working at Taco Bell. Then, probably a month after the money was stolen from me, I got hired at a call center that I've been trying to get hired for so long and they would not hire me. I got hired at that call center and I was making $5 more an hour than I was at Taco Bell. And ironically, the person who stole the money from me, they worked at Taco Bell. And unfortunately, sadly, this person was way older than me. And I don't wish bad on people, but I feel like they got their karma because when I went back to Taco Bell just to get some food, mind you, this is when I used to eat super unhealthy. But yeah, I went to Taco Bell to order some food and the person was still working there months and months after this happened. So in my mind, I'm kind of thinking like, I'm not even going to confront you. I'm not going to call the police or try to, press charges or anything on you because you already getting your karma. So a few weeks after that, I'm working at my new job. And my uncle-in-law calls me back to back. I'm just like, dude, I can't answer the phone. I just started this new job. Like, what do you want? So he texts me and he's like, yo, there's this lady who wants to buy a new Honda off me and she's willing to sell you her Honda Civic for $1,000. And I'm like, okay, well, how many miles is on it? Like, what year is it? And he's like, it has 197,000 miles and it's a 1999 Honda Civic. Guess what I did? I said, I'll take it. I didn't test drive it. I didn't get it checked out, nothing, because I automatically knew this was the blessing God was wanting me to wait on. God told me, look, you don't have to settle. You just got to be patient. I'm going to get you the exact car that you want for the exact amount that you want to spend. My uncle-in-law is a car salesman, by the way. And he was telling me how the dealership was only willing to pay her $500 if she traded her Honda in. And she's like, man, if I could just get at least $1,000 for it. He automatically thought of me like, my niece, she really wants a Honda Civic. She actually wants the exact year Honda Civic that you have. Like, I know she has $1,000. She'll buy it right now. And he was right. The crazy thing is, I had $1,200 saved up again. Isn't that ironic? I kid you not. The first time I drove that car was after I bought it. I didn't even second guess it. I wasn't like, oh, I need to get it tested. I need to get it checked out. I need to test drive it first. No, it was none of that. And there was people telling me like, Kyla, you should have got it checked out. You should have test drove it first. And I'm like, no, I'm not listening to y'all because y'all the ones that told me I wasn't going to be able to get this car in the first place. And guess what? I ended up driving that Honda Civic for 5 years. And the only reason I didn't drive it past 5 years was because I got into a car accident and the car was totaled. So the next story is a super recent story. Probably like a week or two ago. It was actually the night before I went to Puerto Rico. Anybody who, has been subscribed to me for a while, you know that I quit my 9 to 5 probably like 3 years ago. I have different sources of income, but one of my main sources of income for now is independent contracting. And every day I pray and tell God, I would like to make this amount today. Please help me get to that amount. So this was towards the end of my shift. And I was like $10 short of my goal, but I'm just like, it's not really that deep. I'm about to just go home. But all of a sudden, I got this order. It was 3.6 miles, $24. So I'm like, I'm definitely about to take this. I was going to go home, but I'm going to go ahead and do this order. This is super easy money. But I was on E. I was almost out of gas. No big deal. I got my wallet. I can just get gas and, be on my way. But when I went to the pump and I was about to get my wallet out to pay for the gas, didn't have my wallet. I'm frantically looking like, oh my God, where's my wallet? I never forget my wallet. But I just so happened to forget my wallet. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just have to cancel this order. I'm going to just go home. But something told me, no, you're not going to have to cancel the order. Not only are you going to have enough gas to do the order, you're going to have enough gas to make it home too. This is what my spiritual mind was telling me, but my logical mind was like, bitch, you about to run out of gas. Take your ass home. Stop being greedy. Let somebody else get the order. But something in my spirit told me, nah, don't worry about the gas. You gonna make it. You gonna be okay. Just trust in me. Have faith in me. So I drive to the location. I walk in, and as soon as I walk in, one of the employees was like, we're closed. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. The door was unlocked. So I just walked in. I'm actually here for, this order. But if you guys don't have it, if you guys are closed, that's okay. Like, I completely understand. And they're like, well, actually, no. What order are you here for? And I told them the name. And they were like, oh, we have it right here. Like, we've been waiting for somebody to come and pick it up. So I was like, okay, that was easy. And I feel like because I was friendly and I didn't throw a fit when they said we're closed, I was just like, oh, okay, well, if you guys are closed, I understand. I feel like when you're like that, people are more likely willing to help you because of the fact that you are nice and easygoing. You catch more bees with honey than vinegar. So I'm driving to the delivery location. And at this point, I don't even know how the car is still driving because I'm like, bitch, you are literally on E. Like, you are really, really, really on E. And mind you, I ran out of gas before a long, 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 long time ago. But the point is, I know that I should have ran out of gas by now. But the whole time I was driving, I wasn't worried. I wasn't panicking. I just kept telling myself, there are no limits to God. You don't know how much gas is truly in this car. God can make this car drive as far as he wants. And I literally just kept that thought in my head and I just kept driving and I wasn't worried about it. Made it to the delivery location. Not only did I make it to the delivery location, I made it all the way home. And when I was at the delivery location and I put in the GPS, like my home address, I'm like, girl, you are 5.4 miles from your house. You are not going to make it. You won't have to call roadside assistance. But I was like, nah. Chill, chill, chill. God is going to get you home. Don't even worry. Don't even have that thought in your head. God is going to get you home. Don't worry. Just drive. And sure enough, I made it home. Not only did I make it home, but something in my spirit said, keep the car running, run in the house, get your wallet, and then drive to the gas station and fill up your tank. But I ain't gonna lie, my logical mind was like, have you lost your damn mind? You better be lucky you was able to do the delivery and make it all the way back home. Like, you getting a little too ahead of yourself. You getting a little too cocky. But my spiritual mind was like, no. Go in there, get your wallet, go to the gas station and fill up your tank. So I just listened to that voice. So the gas station was about 2 miles from my house. But I wasn't worried, even though I'm like, girl, I don't even know how this car is still running. Even though logically I was thinking that, something in my spirit was like, nah, we good. God got us. Are you trying to put limitations on God? Are you really trying to, all the things that God has done, are you really trying to say God can't make a little car keep running even when it's supposedly on E? So guess what? I made it to the gas station. I made it to the gas station. I drove about 12 miles on E. And some people might be like, oh, well, that's probably you had more gas than you thought. No. That was God. And let me tell you something else. You know how I said, oh, it's $24 payout, da da da. Guess what? The customer ended up tipping me more after I dropped off their order. It went from $24 to $28. So I'm like, damn, I made $28 probably in less than 20 minutes, which is pretty good if you compare that to, the average person, that works like a regular 9 to 5. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying it to make a point. All things are possible through God. The reason why I haven't had to work a 9 to 5 in 3 years is because of God. It's because of my faith in God. So the last story was probably like 5 or 6 months ago. Me and my previous partner broke up, and it was really challenging because we still lived together. We had like 4 months left on our lease, and I want to be careful not to say too much or share too much, but I will be honest and say this person was making my life a living hell. In my mind, I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna still live with this man for another 4 months. I really don't know how I'm going to survive because he's really making my life a nightmare. So I'm not gonna lie. I was frantically looking at apartments. I was really like in an extreme state of fight or flight because I'm like, I have to get away from this person. I cannot live here anymore. So I was obsessively looking at apartments, and I even went and looked at a couple apartments, but it just didn't feel right. Like it felt forced. And I had already prayed to God, like, God, please make it to where I can stay here and he leaves. But in my logical mind, I'm like, Kyla, that's not gonna happen. Like, I really don't see him leaving. Like, you need to just get you an apartment, move, see if you can break the lease, set up something with your landlord, let them know what's going on, and see if you can get out the lease early. But something in my spirit said, just chill, just wait on God. When I heard that voice tell me to just chill and wait on God, I stopped looking at apartments. I'm gonna be honest, even though I made the decision to stop looking at apartments, I was still in distress. I was crying every day, but I was also praying every day. There's literally a scripture that says, rejoice in hope, be patient in tribulation, be constant in prayer. So that's literally what I was doing. Even though I would be crying and being honest with God about how I was feeling, I would also tell God, I have faith. I trust in you. Literally, 3 weeks after me and that person broke up, he was gone. I didn't have to do anything. I literally did nothing. He just left on his own 3 weeks after we broke up. So God was like, chill. You're not going to have to live with this man for another 4 months. Just be patient. Just 3 weeks. Just make it 3 weeks and I got you. I want to leave you guys with two scriptures. Matthew 21:22. Whatever you ask in prayer, you will receive if you have faith. The second scripture is Hebrews 11:6. Without faith, it is impossible to please him. For whoever would draw near to him must believe he exists and that he rewards those who seek him. I think the reason a lot of us lack faith is because we've lost our imagination we once had as kids. And the reason why is because of negative programming. But I want to encourage you to get in touch with your inner child. Because when you really look at kids, kids are more spiritual than adults because they believe in things they can't see, which essentially is what faith is. When I listen to people's limitations, oh, that can't happen because XYZ has to happen in order for that to happen. And no, do not listen to people's logic. Listen to your spirit and listen to God. I love you guys. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, make sure you like it. Make sure you're subscribed. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Adios.